हरि ओम। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम. We are in the first pad of first adhyaya of Brahma Sutra Shankara Bhashya. The whole and the only purpose of studying Brahma Sutra is to ascertain a vague idea, a paroksha idea, kalpana, about the reality or the Brahma. Everybody is interested in knowing the ultimate reality or the Brahma, but it is one of the most or the only most difficult question in the world. What is the ultimate reality? N number of attempts have been made both in Eastern and Western sphere in the history of mankind to know what is the nature of reality. And it is only the adequate depth that it has received in Sanatana Hindu Dharma or the Vedic Dharma or the Veda, the only scripture which has gone to the required adequate depth to know the ultimate reality. Nothing concrete has been spoken about the ultimate reality in any other religion apart the vague references, mostly revolving around creation. The father of the creation, the one who created this world. No religion, or very rarely a philosophical thought, has gone beyond creation. And in Vedic Hindu Dharma, in Veda, the very approach has been to transcend the world. The search for reality starts when the world ends in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. The beauty of Vedanta or Upanishada is it is the discussion or it is the area which is beginning at the end of the universe. Anything that is contained in the creation is considered to be too inadequate for knowing something that has created the universe. And the questions that galore, questions that suffocate us while searching for the ultimate reality are: if the ultimate reality is Brahma, which itself means all encompassing, which is called as a Bhauma or Bhuma in Chandogya Upanishad. If the ultimate reality is all encompassing, then the one who is searching for the reality has to be a part of the all reality. The inquirer cannot be away from the reality while inquiring. That is why a very fundamental question has been asked and discussed and thoroughly discussed, not only at an intellectual level, but at anubhuti level, that can the person who wants to know the Brahma be out of the Brahma? You cannot know a thing if you are a thing. Think. Thinking is the substratum of Brahma Sutra study. Vigorous thinking. Brahma Sutra thinking challenges you, suffocates you. Can the Brahma knower, one who wants to know the Brahma, can he remain away from the ultimate reality or the Brahma if ultimate reality is the only reality? When we say all-compassing only reality, nothing else exists except the reality, that means the one who is inquiring the Brahma is also the part of the reality. And once you are a part of a thing that is to be known, you cannot know a thing. I know water because I am not water. For me to know the water, I have to be different than the water. To know the Brahma, I have to be different than the Brahma. But Brahma itself is all-encompassing reality. That means the one who is inquiring about the Brahma is also the part of the Brahma. If you are one with something, how can you be separate from something? You can either be one with something or away from something. You can be water yourself. You as a person is gone. So the inquirer is gone. Look at the dilemma. I want to know the ultimate reality or the Brahma, but I cannot because I am the part of the Brahma. And if I am able to know the Brahma by remaining away from the Brahma, then it cannot be reality because there are two realities, you and the Brahma. So the most fundamental question that comes in Brahma Sutra is, who is that who wants to know the Brahma? Who wants to know the Brahma? I cannot know the Brahma. Why? I am the part of the Brahma. That means as long as I am thinking that I am not Brahma, I will never be able to know the Brahma, because I cannot be away from the Brahma to know it. So that means it is utterly impossible under any circumstances that I, as an observer, I, as an inquirer, can ever come to know Brahma, out of question. The second part of Kenopanishada, which has got a lot of confusing shlokas, is the one who says that he knows the Brahma hasn't known the Brahma, but the one who says that he hasn't understood the Brahma has understood it. When one says, I know Brahman, he doesn't know Brahman. One who says that I don't know the Brahman, he knows the Brahman. That is what Kenopanishada says. You cannot be knower of the Brahma. And if I cannot be the knower of the Brahma, then who knows Brahma? The only choice that remains is Brahma knows Brahma. But we have never come across a situation where somebody or something knows itself. So far, my experience is I can know a thing which is not me. Everything around me I can know. That means to know the thing has to be away from me, different than me. Brahma is not different than me. I am included in the Brahma. If I am included in a thing, then who is the one studying Brahma Sutra to know the Brahma? Who is the knower of Brahma? Who is that who is saying Aham Brahmasmi? Who is that Aham? And to whom is he saying Aham Brahmasmi? There is no one. There is only Brahma. So there is only Brahma who knows itself as Brahma and declares to itself as Aham Brahmasmi. Sounds very ridiculous. And if everything is Brahma, then what about my day-to-day experience of these cars, this plurality, water, tree, mountain, my job, my family, my everything? Because Brahma doesn't have any modification, any alteration. It is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. That's it. There is no modification of any kind there. And what I'm seeing every day is full of modifications. Full of modifications. Somebody is born, somebody dies, somebody is going with speed. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, three types of kal I am facing. I'm eating food, I'm feeling hungry, this body is becoming old. The trees are giving fruits, I'm eating the fruit, I'm enjoying the fruit. My brother came. All these statements cannot happen for Brahma. What a terrible concept of confusion, because Brahma doesn't have any modification, any alteration. On the same side, there is a world which is full of modification or vikar. Tremendous world of plurality, objects, nama, rupa, everything on one side. Yet, the only thing that exists is Brahma. If only thing that exists is Brahma, which is not at all possible to modify, then what is that I am seeing? Then somebody came and said that what you are saying hasn't existed, it is an illusion. If it is an illusion, how is it that I am staying in the illusion, and the one who is in illusion and who is a part of the illusion, can he ever come to know reality? If you are a part of the illusion, you cannot know reality. How do we reconcile all this? And it's not an easy thing to reconcile. Not to feel bad if we are not able to reconcile, because the stalwarts could not reconcile it. A person as stalwart as Vachaspati Mishra wrote a grantha called Bhamati on Vedanta Sutra Bhashya of Shankaracharya. The only reason because Shankaracharya did not elaborate what avidya is. He didn't speak much about it. But that led to such a big doubt that his own disciples, three of them, the top of them, the intelligence par excellence, three Shishyas, wrote three different views about what he must be having in mind. Vachaspati Mishra in Bhamati said it is a cosmic illusion. If Brahma is the only reality, nothing else can exist other than Brahma. That means this world itself has to be illusion. How it can be then have reality? There is no reality whatsoever. Sureshwaracharya, he came out with another concept. He said, frankly speaking, it is just what your mind perceives the world to be. There is no tree there. You think there is a tree and the tree is seen. He said everything is because of avidya. The mind projects the world. The world doesn't exist at all. Or the world the way you see doesn't exist at all. According to Sureshwaracharya, it is a drushti srushtivad. You see something and it is created. I see a huge mountain. The mountain is created. Mountain may or may not be there. Or mountain is there but in a different form. You see it in your way. Bhamatikar said it is illusion only. Forget about it. Why call about why, how it is seen? It is illusion. Illusion can be seen anywhere. Why illusion? Because if Brahma is the only reality, how can world and Brahma both stay together? Truth and reality or truth and illusion cannot coexist. But it is felt I am in that world, then it must be an illusion. Very beautifully, one Sufi saint says, Na intaha ki khabar, na ibtada malum. I don't know the beginning, I don't know the end and certainty of its end. Rahi baat ke hum hai maujood. Now the only thing is I am existing is what I feel. तो सो भी क्या मालूम? Am I existing or not? That also I don't know. Balancing these two, Padma Padacharya wrote Panchapadika on only the first four sutras of Brahma Sutra. And which is generally followed by everyone, including the Panchadashikara Sayanacharya. So the biggest difficulty that we have in knowing the Brahma is, I cannot know Brahma because I, the knower, cannot be separate than the Brahma. Pramata cannot be separate from the Prameya. And if I am the part of the Brahma, and I'm yet supposed to know the Brahma, then who knows the Brahma, or who will get the knowledge that I am Brahmadhyani? Who would say that? Brahma itself can only say that I am Brahmadhyani. Brahmavid Brahmeva bhavati. Knowing Brahma is becoming Brahma. But moment you say knowing Brahma, you are separate than the Brahma. That is why nowhere in the Brahma Sutra the word is used who is to know the Brahma. It just starts with the most poignant statement. Athato Brahma Jidnyasa. Now there is inquiry into the nature of ultimate reality called Brahma. That is the first sutra. The most difficult, most important, most comprehensive sutra on which thousands and thousands of pages have been written by the stalwarts. It doesn't say who's Brahma Jidnyasa. It just says Brahma Jidnyasa. And if the Brahma knows itself, because it is Brahma, all knowing, all pervading, and it knows itself, and I as a knower can never know the Brahma, then what is the point in studying the ultimate reality? If you say you are Brahma, I already know the reality. If you say you are the sadhaka, then you will never know the reality because you cannot know it. What a paradox. If you are a knower, you cannot know it. If you know it, you are not a knower. Look carefully for the words. If you are a knower, you cannot know it. If you know it, you are not a knower. Is there anything existing in this world where this statement applies? That is Brahma. So then how do I solve the riddle? To solve the riddle, keeping the question little aside that who wants to know Brahma, at least we can think about what is stopping us from knowing the Brahma. Brahma is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. I am not Jnanam and Anantam. I am Santa. Why? Because I know in my own world, I am a small fry. So if I am a small fry and Brahma is all encompassing Bhuma, then my journey from small identified thing to a huge, large, aparimita, immeasurable, largest possible thing has to go stepwise. If I want to become Mount Himalaya, what should I do? I should expand myself and start becoming bigger and bigger and bigger till the time I reach the height of Mount Himalaya, and then there's no difference between me and Himalaya then. On the similar lines, if I have to be Brahma, Brahma is what? All encompassing. If I have to become all encompassing, I have to grow myself. How do I grow myself? By removing that which has made me small. If there is a possibility that I can become Brahma, that means right now Something has stopped me from growing to that height, which is called pratibandha or bandha. What is that bandha? That bandha is my identification with my small body. If you want to become big, you cannot think that you are small and become big. You have to think also big. But I'm thinking small. Thinking small as what? I am the body. I have restricted my extent of my all-pervasiveness to only 5.5 feet. So the very sadhana would be to increase my width, height. In other words, expand myself. But to expand yourself, if a very lean, lanky person wants to take on a mighty wrestler, what will he do? He will try to become as competent as possible up to the level of that wrestler first. How does he do that? He keeps on working upon himself so that he becomes bigger and bigger in size, muscle, strength. So the infinite and the finite both are juxtaposed to each other. The finite intends to become infinite only by removing the pratibandha or bandha that has actually clipped the wings of that finite person. He can regrow the wings and then slowly grow himself, grow himself, grow himself, and keep on growing till he reaches the highest and the mightiest. This process is called sadhana. If this process is sadhana, then what is jnana? Jnana is a word which has nothing parallel in English. Knowledge is not jnana. To know is knowledge. And knowing doesn't apply for Brahma. In this world, everything is known by a knower. That means the world is full of knowledge. Since the ultimate reality is not a subject to be known, that by which the ultimate reality cognizes itself, if that is the word to be used, then that process or that phalam is called jnana. Jnana is that moment when individuality ceases, universality ushers in, and the ultimate reality knows itself. If the ultimate reality or the Brahma itself is supposed to know Brahma, what is the big deal in it? It would always know itself. What is the achievement? There is no achievement because you rediscovered that you are Brahma. So Brahma Jnana is not something to be obtained. It's nothing else but rediscovery. The clouds were covering the sun, the clouds dispersed and the sun appeared. You did not create a sun. What you did was you removed the clouds. The sun was always there. The so-called individual who was centered around the body expanded his consciousness, restricted to the body, and slowly expanded it to include more, many things, and the consciousness went up to the cosmic level. Still it is falling short because cosmos is a creation. When at a cosmic level the consciousness goes, there is no difference between you and the cosmic regulator called Ishvara. But since creation itself cannot have existence other than Brahma, and it is the only Brahma that is existing, which is unmutable, which then presupposes that the creation is illusion, then what is God? What is Ishvara? Ishvara is divine confusion. There are some bold statements which may shake the so-called faith in us. This is a bare discussion. It doesn't take into account any emotions. It's a jnana approach to the reality. It doesn't believe in this world, Ishvara. If the world is an illusion, then Ishvara is a divine confusion. What we create is illusion. Because we have created an illusion, the regulator of that illusion is none else than the divine confusion. When the expansion of consciousness goes beyond this illusion and divine confusion, when it transcends the cosmic illusion, that's the time, that is the time ultimate reality rediscovers itself. It's not that it knows itself, it rediscovers itself. If you ask a question, who rediscovered the Brahma? Answer cannot be given. Because when you rediscover something, there is nobody who rediscovers, because that which is to be discovered is already there. This is the process of jnanam, and in this, if at all one is keen or inclined to know the ultimate reality, and if the only way to know the ultimate reality is stage by stage increase and expand the consciousness that you have and reduce the coverings of the consciousness or the avidya or the pratibandha, then step by step you take certain steps to reach to a stage where the expansion of consciousness is complete into and in toto, so that the cosmic perimeter can be transcended. What are the ways of doing it? Is there only one way or multiple ways? Before talking about the ways of transcending this particular perimeter of cosmic illusion, the first condition is the one who intends to expand the consciousness has to remove all his application of consciousness on variety of things around him. You cannot apply light at one point unless light that has spread to other points is brought in and converged on the point or focused on one point. So expansion of consciousness within is done by a process called upasana, provided you have ability to bring in all the consciousness and apply it to one point. This process of withdrawing consciousness from other places and bringing it at one is called sadhana chatushtata. This itself takes its own time. And for those few lucky ones who have brought this consciousness from outside and ultimately succeeded in focusing it at one point with the sole purpose of expanding the consciousness through focus and concentration at one point, for him the Brahma Sutra is the grantha which starts with Athato. Now you start Brahma Jidnyasa. Those who have brought this consciousness at one point through Viveka, Vairagya, and Shamadamadi Shataka, with a burning desire to know the ultimate reality, Mumukshatva, he now starts adopting different methodologies with the help of whom? Vedanta. Why? The rishis of the yesteryears have already taken this course and have spoken about it. By holding on to them, he starts his sadhana of expanding consciousness further in the right direction so that he is able to reach the Bhuma or the Brahmatnyana. To reach that particular stage through this different kind of strategies, these are called Vidya. From avidya, you are now going towards vidya, because this vidya is going to help you in transcending the barrier of cosmic illusion. Is there only one strategy? No, there are many. And all these strategies are then described in Chandogya Upanishada as different types of vidya, of which Gayatri Vidya we have seen last time. After Gayatri Vidya starts the Shandilya Vidya. Chandogya Upanishada starts with Madhu Vidya, Bhauma Vidya, Gayatri Vidya, Shandilya Vidya, Vaishwanara Vidya, Panchagni Vidya. These are different strategies adopted by the sadhaka in order to direct and expand the consciousness so that it expands slowly to cross the barriers. But the essential condition for this is you need to hold on to something so that you can focus the concentration or the consciousness on that point. Focusing of the consciousness on a particular point need not always be on the gross structure available outside. It can be focused on something that you can think of. In the mental compass, you can think of certain things which you come to know as and when the expansion of the consciousness happens. We all know that the prana is the one which sustains the body. We all know that. But I cannot make prana stand on palm of my leaf because it has no body. How does the prana look like? I cannot say that. I know it rides on the respiration, on the uchavasa, prashavasa for its functioning. But prana by itself, I can only imagine. But any imagination, when used as a focal point for concentration and expansion of consciousness, it leads to illumination of that imaginative entity. How do you think the prana has been discovered by the rishis? Did they catch hold of prana somewhere? With sheer concentration, applying consciousness on one focal point, they realize that, oh, it is the prana that is sustaining the body by moving like this. It goes through so many nadis. It has different types. It has 10 different types. They even were able to classify it depending upon the functionality. Now that prana, I and you cannot see. Why? Our consciousness is not focused at one point. Our ability to focus is laughable. But the one who has started doing upasana, because of his ability of sadhana chatushtata, he is able to focus there. And when he focuses on that prana, he comes to know that, look at the mighty function that the prana is doing. So beautifully it is keeping a body alive by the movement of prana through different nadis. And this prana is being propelled by whom? Are these pranas autonomous, automatically on their own they are doing? Is it their own volition? Or there is somebody who is pranena praniyate? Is there somebody, is there some power, is there something which is making these pranas move the way they are moving and sustaining the body? And at the height of concentration, do realize that yes, there is a power, there is something that is making these pranas move and sustain the life. So the focus is happening on prana, but the thought process, the meditation is on that which makes the prana move, that means on the Brahma. And when a Rishi is sitting in solitude and doing this, he utters some words, maybe for the advice to his disciple, or maybe in his Unmani Avastha, and he says, Sapranaha. He is referring to Brahma, but saying Sapranaha. That is prana. The word used is prana. Word connoted is Brahma. What he wants to say is, look at the prana, the way they are moving, sustaining the body is all possible because of Bhuma, the Brahma. But instead of saying such a long statements for reasons best known to the Rishi, either because he was in Unmani Avastha or because he was teaching his disciple, he used a very abridged version saying that there is nothing in this world except the prana. This is confusing for a commoner because he thinks, oh, prana is the ultimate, not the Brahma, because he's talking about prana. This is the confusion in Vedanta where all Purva Mimamsak and other people are holding on to this statement saying that, look, this statement itself clearly says that he's referring it to prana. Where is Brahma into it? There is no Brahma. But Vyasa Maharaj, Badaraya Rishi Maharaj, and Shankaracharya is pointing that no, you are getting tricked by these statements. That is why the last sutra of the Pada says, Jiva Mukhya Pranalingat na iti chet na upasana trividyat ashritatvat iha tad udyogat. The prana that is referred here is nothing else but Brahma. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be Trividha Upasana. What is Trividha Upasana? You will do Upasana of Prana. Then you will do Upasana of Jiva. And then you will do Upasana of Brahma. Can the Upasana is of three different entities? There are no three different entities. It is one entity called Brahma. Done Upasana through the Prana. What is the need of the Prana Upasana then? Because we are expanding the consciousness. So far it was restricted to this body. Now I am expanding it to Prana. I know it is not the end of it, but I am taking step by step because I have to develop the ability to focus my concentration on Prana. When you are trying to, when Arjuna was trying to study the archery, when he was firing the arrow, he had war in the mind. Why are you shooting the arrow? If you are going to go in the war, why are you shooting the arrow? Because shooting the arrow is going to make me perfect for the war. Why are you doing pranopasana? Because pranopasana is ultimately going to help me in understanding the ultimate reality or the Brahma. That is why conclusively at the end of the first adhyaya, first pada, Shankaracharya has, as a Siddhanta Paksha, has proved that prana referred here in this upasana means Brahma. And he also gives the support through Kathopanishada, where it says clearly, Kathopanishada says, na pranena, na apanena, martyo jivati kaschan, itarena tu jivanti, yasmin eta upashritao. No one lives by prana or apan, but by that on whose adhishtan these life forces work. So the doubt is settled, samshaya is nivrutta, that prana referred in Vedanta is nothing else but the reference to Brahmopapasana, upasana of Saguna Brahma. Here we end the first pad. 62 sessions we spent to complete the first pad of the first adhyaya. So it is a time to pay respect to whom? To Shankaracharya. Iti Srimat Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharyasya Sri Govind Bhagavat Pujyapada Shishyasya Srimat Shankara Bhagavataha Krutau Sharirika Mimamsa Sutra Bhashye Prathama Adhyayasya Prathamaha Padaha. So Prathama Pada of Brahma Sutra, first adhyaya, is over, which started from Athato Brahma Jidnyasa and then slowly started refuting the Brahma Lakshana, which was spashta so far, yet confusing in different Vedantic utterances. That is why this adhyaya itself, this adhyaya is called Samanvaya Adhyaya. Samanvaya, what the Rishis has said, what they actually meant, there is a samanvaya into it. These are not sporadic utterances and contradicting each other, although they apparently look like. So Brahma Sutra has 4 adhyaya, just to recapitulate: Samanvaya Adhyaya, Avirodha Adhyaya, Sadhana Adhyaya, and Phala Adhyaya. What is discussed in the first adhyaya so far? The first pada of first adhyaya, we came to know through Shankaracharya and the Vyasacharya who wrote this Brahma Sutra that there are 2 types of Brahma. These are not 2 types as divisions, but for the sake of understanding, one is called Upasya Brahma, one is called Jneya Brahma. What is Jneya Brahma? That when at the ultimate stage, you realize not as a process of knowing, but a process of becoming. Jnana or Jneya Brahma is the possibility when individual no more exists. So there is no individual or jiva who wants to know Brahma. At that stage, it is a Jneya Brahma. Till the time the individual is individual or jiva, till the time jiva is trying to reach the Brahma, he has to go through the process of upasyata of Saguna Brahma, which is called Upasya Brahma. Saguna Brahma is Upasya Brahma. Saguna means it has to have guna. Guna is either by akar or by quality. Saguna, sakar, first stage. You have quality also, you have shape also, closer to us, because everything in this world is Saguna and Sakar. Becomes easier to start with. As you progress, you don't require akar anymore. Prana upasana. Where is the akar of pran? There is no akar for pran, but guna is there. It is sustaining the body. It is flowing through the body. It is most luminous, etc., etc. It's luminous. So this is upasana of Saguna Nirakar. When this goes further and further, then you become qualified for dropping even the guna. So now starts the third penultimate stage, is Nirguna Nirakara Upasana. Now just imagine, just think, try to imagine. Imagine anything which is Nirguna and Nirakar. We cannot even imagine. Stretch yourself as much as you want. There is no possibility of imagining Nirguna Nirakar. Why? This mind, Antakarana, is trained for Saguna Sakar. Max, it is trained for Saguna Nirakar. Nirguna Nirakar is beyond the scope of Buddhi. If by the help of Buddhi everything is done, and for Buddhi it is not possible to have Nirguna Nirakar, then how do you do that Upasana? While doing the Upasana of Saguna Sakar and Saguna Nirakar, the Buddhi develops a quality of transcending itself. When the mind learns to kill itself, in Gurudeva's word, when the mind commits the suicide, that is the time an unknown ability, in Yoga Sutra it is called Yoga Jnana, it just arises. The ability to have Nirguna Nirakar and Upasana of that arises. You don't do that with the help of Buddhi. Just for the sake of understanding such a very classical, highly developed, refined, highly crystallized Buddhi is called Rutambara Buddhi. Since there is no name, we call it the highest Buddhi. So Upasya Brahma and Jneya Brahma, these are the two concepts. Upasya Brahma is replete in the Vedantas. So whenever there is a reference to Mana, Prana, Agni, Surya, Aditya, sun in the eye, Angushta Matra, Rud Granthi, etc., all these are references to Brahma only. So there are Spashta Brahma Lingam, that means indications of Brahma in a Spashta manner. For example, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmasi, Spashta indication to Brahma. The only true thing is Brahma. This all is nothing else but Brahma. Here there is no confusion because Brahma is mentioned. Everything is Brahma. But Sa Pranaha, now the confusion starts. It is a normal prana that they are referring or Brahma they are referring. Because the word is prana, reference is to Brahma. Vachyartha is prana, Lakshanartha is Brahma. That is why now the second pad and the third pad which is starting is on Aspashta Brahmalinga. Further obscure reference to the Brahma. And again, knowing the reincarnation of Shankara himself, Shankaracharya Maharaj, having studied all the Upanishads, having written commentary on the 12 Upanishads or 13, having studied all other scriptures, having studied all the Vedas, while explaining Brahma Sutra and making bhashya on it, he took these different Upanishada utterances to prove that what is precisely meant in Brahma Sutra, and for that he used a Chandogya Upanishad as many as 810 times. That indicates the importance of Chandogya Upanishad. It is one of the oldest Upanishad. Even the intellectuals or the historians put it at 8th century BC. It could be older than that. But the power of Upanishads, all 12 Upanishads are Mukhya Upanishads. But to know which one to take for the reference, which one has more importance, only the buddhi or only the person of the caliber, commentator of the caliber of Shankaracharya can decide. So he decided to take Chandogya Upanishada for the Bhashya. 810 times the Brahma Sutra, in Brahma Sutra it has been used. Chandogya Upanishada has got 8 Prapathaka. Prapathaka means chapters, 8 chapters, which are divided into parts called Khanda. In that, there is a third Prapathaka, third chapter, which is called Madhu Vidya. Now, Madhu Vidya, we already saw different strategies of upasana to know the Jnaya, the Upasya Brahma, and then to know the Jnaya Brahma. These different strategies are called Vidya. We saw that there is Bhuma Vidya, Prana Vidya, Shandilya Vidya, Vaishwanar Vidya, Panchagni Vidya, Gayatri Vidya, etc. So, in that third Prapathak, 14th Khand section 14, there is a shloka 1 to 4 in Chandogya Upanishad. These 4 shloka are the basis for second pada. So what is the discussion in the second pada? The discussion is based on 4 shlokas of Chandogya Upanishad, which come from the 14th khanda or the section of the third Prapathak, which actually by in totality is dealing with different vidyas. So this one in 14th khanda is dealing with what is called as Shandilya Vidya, because it was told to Shandilya Rishi. It is called Shandilya Vidya. What is Shandilya Vidya? Another strategy to know Jnaya Brahma or Nirguna Nirakar Brahma through Upasana, making it Upasya Brahma. When we are traveling to a particular destination, halfway through we stop somewhere to maybe take refreshment or something. The place where you stop has a name. So we say, I stopped here. Why? Because this is the stop that comes before reaching that destination where I am going. So by means of different paths, you are reaching to the same destination. Why there are different paths? Because one who adopts a particular road, he emphasizes or prophesizes about that road. Shandilya Rishi emphasized on something, while Gayatri Vidya emphasizes on Gayatri. Considering out of Chatushpada Gayatri, one pad is this creation, 3 padas are nothing else but the other areas which are not yet being perceived by us, and this all is coming from that Brahma. This is one way of reaching him. Focusing on prana and going through prana upwards, considering prana as the indicator of Brahma being upasya prana, is another strategy. So that is why the discussion that is going to go on this particular adhyaya, in the first adhyaya, Dvitiya Pada, is on Shandilya Vidya. What are those 3 shlok or the ruchas? How the Purva and Siddhanta Paksha discussions are coming shall be the discussion of the coming session, so that we can take all the jewels or pearls of wisdom that we have got from the first pada and carry it forward into the second pada. The understanding will become better for us. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnam Nidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om, Sanjay ji. This our first sutra, the Adhado Brahma Jitnyasa. Adha Adaha Brahma Jitnyasa. This is the.
Rajendra ji, I can't hear you.
Now can you hear me?
No, no.
Then there is something in the audio. I don't know. My audio is on now.
No, we can hear Rajendra ji. I don't know what is the problem. Sanjay ji's audio, speaker or something.
No problem. Then I will put the question in the in writing in our group. That is okay.
Check whether others' mics are audible to Sanjay ji. Sanjay ji, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but very faint voice is coming.
Something with the system problem then in that case.
Okay.
Sanjay ji, can the volume? Sanjay ji, maybe volume is low.
1 second. I do not
Stop
know.
the recording and then check.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Now
okay.
Now
Yeah,
it is okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Thank you. This Adhado Brahma Jitnyasa, the first sutra, Adaha Brahma Jitnyasa, that is the Padacheda. So, in one interpretation, it was said that after having done all the kriyas of what has been mentioned in the Vedas, still we are unable to achieve to know the Brahma. Therefore, Adhado Brahmaji said, therefore, let us try to understand Brahma. There is an interpretation accordingly. Is it right actually?
No, there are many interpretations given on Athato, this particular word. But since we follow Kevala Advaita, we follow Shankaracharya's tradition. According to Shankaracharya and the Kevala Advaiti's tradition, the meaning here is to be taken as per the Bhashyam of Shankaracharya, which means only after the Sadhan Chatushtata is Sampanna. But in detailed analysis, if you see, what is being said by you about the previous all the Vedas and previous all the khandas being sufficiently mastered, which again means the same thing. The one who is adept in Purva Mimamsa, that means the one who has led his life according to Veda through the yajnas, etc., whose again purpose of that those acts is only Chitta Shuddhi. So it is after that. So after the Purva Mimamsa, the Uttar Mimamsa starts with Athato. This could be one approach. It is saying the same thing in two different ways. The only difference is Purva Mimamsak says that if you just follow the Vedajñas along with the Yajna and the Karma, Yajna Karma, there is nothing more that you need to do. While the Uttar Mimamsa says that that is a preparatory stage, that only meant for Chitta Shuddhi. After that, you ought to undertake Upasana further to know the ultimate reality or the Brahman. That is the difference. Are you?
Okay. Now, this different Vidya, Shandilya Vidya and the Gayatri Vidya, this we will look into in detail during the next. Okay.
Yes. This particular path is based on Shandilya Vidya.
Okay. Thank you.
Hari Om, Sanjay ji, after hearing all this today's provision, I'm just wondering whether we are fit to study Brahma Sutra.
Well, again, I would say it this way, that sometimes as a student of 10th standard, we are taken for a round of college. You have not yet passed 10th standard, but you are likely to go in college. So they take you around in the college, and we are mesmerized by seeing the laboratories, the professors talking in physics, chemistry, etc. So naturally, it is overwhelming. As it is, Brahma Sutra is basically in terms of sadhana meant for the sadhan chatushta, all right. But from the paroksha jnana point of view, from the grantha krupa point of view, from the shastra krupa point of view, it is definitely better. A villager from Kerala or Maharashtra, when he goes to Delhi for preparing for civil services, he gets overwhelmed. But in that overwhelming, he realizes that everyone here is already an IPS or an IAS or something, and they're still trying to make the ranks better. Naturally, you are in a place where the utter competitiveness makes you more competent. So if you want to really get stuck only to the normal karma kanda puja archana, it is very easy. You can be very happy there. You must have seen many people saying that, I am very dharmic because I do not take my morning breakfast unless I do puja. And I'm very strict about it. If one wants to be happy in that small pond, it is up to them. For the real sadhaka, the one with the lion's heart, and that is why Adhyatma is meant for only lions. That's why Swami Vivekananda says, girdle up your lions. The reason is very simple. You have to undertake it. It squeezes your brain. It squeezes your thinking capacity. It squeezes your discipline. It puts you on a tough track. Kshurasya dhara nishitaya durgam patahastada kavyo vadanti. Patha is durgam. Not for us, even for the rishis it is durgam. Who are we? But does that mean that we should not try? Does that mean that we should not get into that direction? In the study of Brahma Sutra, even if few petals come in our hand, we are more than blessed for this particular birth. Rest of that will be completed, because that which has started cannot end unless it goes to the fruition. Bhagini Nivedita was not at all adept in Shastra. So when she was given sannyasa, as the brahmacharini, when she was given sannyasa, she had similar problem and similar question in mind. While Swami Vivekananda said, things will come to its fruition in its due course. Just carry on. Hari Om.
Absolutely marvelous. Well narrated from Jaji. Sanjay, this Chandogya Upanishad, that is the oldest Upanishad you mentioned. No? So who is the creator? Who has explained this? Which rishi?
Have you ever seen any Upanishad ascribed to any Rishi? It will never be. Because the Rishi that actually stated his experience was not sitting to write Upanishad. The Rishi that actually realized this in the height of his meditation, he either while dealing with equally competent disciples has said some things, or in his own avastha he has uttered something which has been then picked up and written down by somebody. That is how the Vedanta portion has become. So Veda are apaurushaya. You cannot ascribe. You may get some names like Pratardana or Shandilya. These are names coming because some of the Upanishads are in Samvada form, the Guru and the disciple. So when we say Yajnavalkya, when we say Pippalad Rishi, these are some Rishis. But you cannot pinpoint that this statement Mahavakyas. Who is the creator of Mahavakyas? No one. Why? Because they have come down to us. And in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, in Vedic philosophy, one thing is very important. Who said it is not important, because moment you say who, you're talking about a man. Man is always with imperfect wisdom. Those who said this, those who made this part of Upanishad, they were not human beings. They had already reached a stage which was beyond human beings. That is why it is called apaurushaya. So no specific Rishi can be given. Maximum you can say it is a part of Samaveda, because it is a part of Samaveda along with Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It is set into meter because it is a part of Samaveda, so it has a singing kind of a thing because there is a vrutta involved into it in the composition. More than that, you cannot say who composed it. Hari Om.
And perhaps that is the reason why the rishis have not written their names in the text, because those who has realized it, or the mantra drishta, they have never mentioned their name, because this is the truth. This is the truth about it, isn't it?
Tell me one incident where Guru Deva said that I saw this, I was in this place, I did this, I was one. Have you seen any time he's speaking in his speech anything referring to him as a person? Never.
No, yeah.
And is it because of humility? No. He was beyond humility. It is because they are not aware of their existence.
Yeah.
We speak about ourselves because our ahankar is so ingrained in us, we cannot start unless I say I. They have already lost the ahankar, so they many a times they do not even remember what has happened, because they are there in the action, not as a karta, as a body through which the God or the divine personality acts. That is the reason why Swami Vivekananda's biography was constructed after his death. That is the reason about Guru Deva, so many incidences people have collected and made his biography. He never said that I fought in freedom struggle, I was like this, my nose was like this, my this was like. Never about personal things, because they are beyond personality. Hari Om.